We gotta complete all 50 states, so we're back with another one. And today we're gonna talk about the top 10 Maryland scary urban legends. I'm your host Andrew, and let's get right into this. At number 10 spot, we have Black Aggie. Although this statue is beautiful, visitors claim that many spirits crowd around it as well, some believing that the statue is alive altogether. The brown statue belonged to General Felix Agnes and was formerly placed in Druid Ridge Cemetery in 1926, where it stood strong for 40 years until it was relocated to a museum. The townsfolk believe that the spirits of Druid Ridge Cemetery haunted the very statue. They would back up their claims by showing that no grass grew around the statue, and at night it would appear to have red glowing eyes. And many other people suggest that the statue starts to move around the cemetery during 3 a.m. Locals have also laid down warnings such as if you pay Aggie a visit after dark and look into her eyes, you will go blind. And the most popular one is that if you sit on her lap at midnight, you'll pass away within 2 weeks. At number 9 spot, we have Chessie. Basically Maryland's very own version of Nessie or the Loch Ness Monster. Just like the beast from Scotland, Chessie is a large serpent-like creature that lurks in the depths of Chesapeake Bay. Witnesses claim that the monster is around 25 to 40 feet long, and it uses its body as a sine curve to swim around the water. You know, sine, cosine, and tangent, you know. Sightings began in 1977 when the mass hysteria hit the locals, believing that the creature was truly out there, causing disappearances and drownings in the areas. Perhaps Chessie swam away from the area, or maybe it was just the 70s, you know? Everyone just wasn't probably that sober. Also, Steven Spielberg's Jaws came out in 1975, which could have added more paranoia that people had towards the water. At number 8 spot, we have Michael Zito Jr. Michael Zito Jr. is considered the Wizard of South Mountain, and with that type of title, you best believe he has something magical about him. Michael was one of the 10 children of German immigrants who settled on the mountain in Zitostown, including his 6 siblings. The only thing different about the Zito family, apart from the others, is that they kept many odd traditions and superstitions with them from Germany. The family practiced sorcery and would be found using hex bags. This prompted a young Michael Zito to carry on the tradition, eventually becoming the town's healer and conjurer. He would garner the nickname Wizard Zito, and just like any other wizard you see on popular television, Michael had his very own spell book. Although the original writings were in German, he eventually got a few translated and published into a real book. At number 7 spot, we have Spirits of Point Lookout Light. In southern Maryland, looking over the Chesapeake Bay is the Point Lookout Lighthouse. Back in the Civil War, the park around the lighthouse was one of the most feared and notorious Union prisoner of the war camps, where an estimated 4,000 Confederate prisoners passed away on these very grounds. And the worst part too is that even though it was originally designed to hold no more than 10,000 prisoners, at the end of the war it held over 20,000 men. The overcrowding along with the terrible living conditions created hell on earth for many of the prisoners. Many would take their own lives, fall gravely ill, or even freeze till they passed away. Now the lighthouse in the area is claimed to be America's most haunted lighthouse, with one person claiming that it felt like you're at the end of the world. The first keeper of the lighthouse passed away after only 2 months of working there, and then another keeper claimed to hear door knocks every single time he lived there, but when he opened it up, he would see an apparition jumping down into the water below. At number 6 spot, we have Malte Dyer. Malte Dyer was considered to be one of the first women accused of witchcraft in Leonardtown. She was born in the 17th century when it was a time when people would accuse you of being a witch for literally anything.
She's made of wood, and therefore a witch! A witch!
Specifically, Malte Dyer was blamed for the plague of influenza that hit the whole entire town. Eventually, people began to rally up and set fire to her small hut in the woods. Although she managed to escape, her body was found frozen near a large rock. When the townsfolk removed her body, they noticed that an imprint of her right hand stayed on it, which led many locals to believe that she placed a curse on the town. And the craziest thing is that the rock with her imprint is still there to this day. Local legend has it that the rock itself is cursed, and that people who go near it or touch it will experience misfortune, including dizziness, fainting, illness, and a bunch of other bad things. They also say her spirit haunts the entire town to this day. Right in the Humber list, we have Hager House. After standing for nearly 300 years, this old house in Hagerstown is believed to be infested with poltergeists and a whole load of other demons. This is because 13 people are said to have lost their lives in this very house. After it was handed down by its original owner, the house was used for rent during the Civil War all the way until World War II. However, in the 1840s, a large number of family members who lived in the house passed away. For example, Micah and Catherine Hammond's 4 children passed away in the span of 3 months in 1844. Just before this, in 1838, Alex and Susan Armstrong passed away along with their 3 infant children. So just know nothing good came out of this house, only bad things. When people visit the house today, they claim to see the spirit of a little girl who on some occasions is felt latching onto women as if they're tugging them not to leave the house. As well, there is said to be a lady in green who is looking out of the window and is walking around the halls that night. At number 4 spot, we have Crybaby Bridge. There's basically a Crybaby Bridge in every single state we cover, so it's no surprise it makes its way into our Maryland video. The Crybaby Bridge in Maryland is a popular yet horrifying spot located on the line between Prince George's and Anne Arundel's counties. The legend of this bridge goes that in 1970, a pregnant teenager was left abandoned by the baby's father. After she gave birth to the child, her family condemned her actions and tormented her with physical and emotional abuse. After realizing no one has anything nice to say about her, she decides to walk over to this bridge and with her baby, drowns the baby, then proceeds to jump in and take her own life as well. As the name suggests, you're able to hear the baby's faint crying underneath the bridge at night. Others claim to see a set of headlights and a black sedan trailing them after they stop at this bridge. At number 3 spot, we have Snallygaster. Don't be deceived by the odd name, this creature is one of the most confusing and terrifying creatures I've ever mentioned. Said to have resided in Frederick County, the Snallygaster is a dragon-like beast that is described as being a half reptile and a half bird that lives deep in the caves of South Mountain. Apart from its eye-popping looks, the beast is said to be responsible for stealing and eating farm animals and even children. The creature would be a silent killer and would swoop down from the skies, and before you would realize it would snatch you. The Snallygaster would consume its victims by completely draining all of its blood before taking you to its lair to consume you. The last sighting in Fredericktown occurred in March 1909 when 3 men fought the creature outside a railroad station for nearly an hour and a half before chasing it into the woods of Carroll County. However, who knows if this really went down, because I believe this creature of this caliber can easily take on 3 humans, but maybe that's just me. At number 2 spot, we're the anti-tem battlefield. Combine advanced technology with unstructured tactics and poor decision making, and you have the Battle of Anti-Tem, otherwise known as the bloodiest single day in American history. For those who don't know, this is the battle that wounded or took the lives of around 23,000 soldiers, and remember, that's in one single day. The iconic Bloody Lane is a spot where both sides met and fought for their lives. It was a sunken part of the road, and considering it was where the most activity was, it's understandable that many bodies were stacked on this road, hence the name Bloody Lane. Gunfire and the smell of gunpowder have been reported in the area even when there's no one around. At number 1 spot, we have Coffin Rock. Coffin Rock, sometimes called Coffin Hill, was a large flat rock located in the Black Hills Forest in Maryland, about 20 minutes from Burkittsville. The local natives claim that before humanity, a dark energy lived in the area of the forest, so that when natives first entered the area, they were caught off guard, and as a result, a boy was kidnapped and then sacrificed on top of this Coffin Rock. Eventually, the warriors came together and fought back with their full force, but the dark energy was too strong and the entire tribe vanished without a trace. More people believed in this dark force after, in March of 1886, an 8-year-old boy, Robin Weaver, was reported missing in the area. Weeks later, he was found at Coffin Rock completely disemboweled. Well, there we have it, the top 10 Maryland scary urban legends. What state should we do next? Leave a comment down below, subscribe and like. I'm your host Andrew, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.